And welcome, folks, to our maiden voyage this season, as it is Muscatine Muskie Softball live from the Kent Stein Softball and Baseball Complex here in Muscatine, Iowa, as the Muscatine Muskies host Bettendorf in a Mississippi Athletic Conference action. Muscatine coming off a huge weekend. Their latest victory over the number one ranked team in the state in Class 5A, Fort Dodge. Muscatine currently ranked 2. We anticipate new rankings coming out. I'm Joel Krausar, the voice of the Muskies. We're looking forward to this ball game tonight. And celebrating Coach Steve Hopkins' 400 wins as he hit that milestone last week. He's, I think, now sitting at 406. But the coach is now exchanging lineup cards and pleasantries with the umpire. And we will have, again, Muscatine Muskie softball action. It's a doubleheader tonight. And we'll be back here shortly. We got a national anthem underway here in a few minutes, in a few seconds. And I'll be back to run with the starting lineups for the Muskies. But until that point, we'll go over the Bettendorf Bulldogs. The lineups batting leadoff is Bree Caffrey playing left field. Number 31, Brooklyn Tierlink, is playing first base and batting second. Sophia Del Vecchio, their leading hitter, batting third, playing shortstop. Emily Rigdon pitching for the Bulldogs, batting in the cleanup spot. She's number 12. Olivia Anderson playing right field, batting fifth. Sarah Rigdon playing third base, batting sixth. And Ellie Erpelding catching and batting seventh, along with Katie Harrison, the designated hitter, batting eighth. And Brooke Magistrelli playing center field and batting in the 9 spot. Pitching in the first game of the doubleheader is Muskie ace Bree Seaman. She wears number 3. She'll take the circle, and she'll be pitching to Kylie Sawyers. I can't read today for some reason. Sawyers will be catching with Avery Eagle playing first base, Becca Haag playing second base, Kaylin Sawyers playing shortstop, Erica Ramser playing third base, Olivia Harmon in left field, Riley Moss in center field, and Carly Ricketts playing right field. These two teams have not faced each other yet this year. A tough loss on the 16th. They've had a little bit of a layover here. They did just sweep Davenport West on June 14th. So the Bulldogs riding high in confidence. The PA voice of the Muskies, welcoming the teams here. It's a beautiful night for softball. Who would have known the longest day of the year, the first day of summer, it'd be a high of 71 degrees. Over the wall here today as the wind is blowing directly. Magical slew. One of the finest of the state. Win in Fort Dodge in the championship game over Bishop Heelan High School out of Sioux City. 7-2 victory over Mississippi Athletic Conference rival Pleasant Valley. And as I mentioned, the 1-0 win over the top-ranked Fort Dodge at home in the state tournament, as that is held in Fort Dodge. Starting lineups here for the Muskies. Good crowd here so far for this 5 o'clock. We'll have both of them here for you on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. The first of what should be many Diamond Sports coverage throughout this summer. We'll have baseball and softball as much as possible. Not always will we have a commentator, as I actually coach. I do have to give some time. At Bear of Muscatine. We're now going to keep it right here as we prepare and we pay respect to the American flag in center field as we rise for the national anthem. And in a completely impromptu, I ended up having to sing the national anthem due to some technical difficulties. So if you were here and you heard that, I apologize. As the Muskies warm up, Bree Seaman getting loose from the circle. Seaman has the only 2 losses on the year from the circle, but that doesn't match her 11 wins. Also, the Muskies are 19-2 coming into this ball game. Seaman 10-2 on the year. 59.2 innings pitched. Her opponent's batting average is just .205, giving up 45 hits and only 16 runs, 12 of them earned. Seaman's ERA on the year is 1.41, and her walks and hits per innings pitched is sub-1 at .97. 2 elite pitchers in the circle for the Muskies. As Mara Kalupa, we expect to see her in Game 2. Seaman will, again, lead the way for the Muskies and their defense here in the top of the first inning. As Bettendorf will be led off by Bree Caffrey, the left fielder. You see the Muskie infield preparing for a slap, as we typically see in softball. Left-handed hitter getting the start. And that's in for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Here we're in the top of the first if you're just joining us. On the Discover Muscatine Sports Network, I'm Joel Krausar. Foul down the third baseline as Ramser fields it foul as Seaman works ahead in the count 1-2. First 3 pitches have been on the outside corner, looking to work away from this lefty. And that is up and away. And Caffrey able to hold off. It's 2-2 here in the opening hitter of this Mississippi Athletic Conference battle. That is slapped over the shortstop head, base hit for Caffrey. Olivia Harmon fields it, gets it in. And Caffrey sets the table for the Bulldogs as Brooklyn Tierlink, the first baseman, steps into the batter's box. Seaman pitch up. Okay. Caffrey with the aggressive secondary lead at first base. Pitch, swing and a miss. That's strike one. 1-1 is the count. Seaman changing speeds here early on. Bunt attempt fielded by Ramser. She fires it to first for the first out. Tierlink does a nice job of moving the runner along as Caffrey advances to second. 1 out for the Muskies. And now Sophia Del Vecchio, leading hitter for the Bulldogs, batting .567 on the year. Del Vecchio looks to strike with runners in scoring position. Fly ball. Riley Moss secures it in center field. And that'll be 2 outs now for the Muskies. 1 pitch is all it took to surrender Del Vecchio. As Emily Rigdon, pitcher for the Bulldogs, steps in the cleanup position. The windy day, the wind is blowing in hard from center to left center field. Pitch, fastball. On the outside corner, strike 1. Bree Seaman just a bit outside. Ball 1. Rigdon digs in. Off the end of her bat, that little duck snort's going to drive in a run as Rigdon able to help herself out. Brings Caffrey across on the soft fly ball that just was well placed. Excuse me, courtesy runner now going to be checking into the ball game for Rigdon as the pitcher. If you're just joining us, Muscatine currently ranked number 2 in Class 5A in the Iowa High School Girls Athletic Union, but it is anticipated they will bump back up to the number 1 spot that they've already occupied this year after they defeated number 1 ranked Fort Dodge on Saturday. And the Bulldogs come into this ball game with a sweep of Davenport West in Mississippi Athletic Conference action. Olivia Anderson, the right fielder, steps into the left side batter's box. Natalie Hitt is the courtesy runner for the Bulldogs. Strike 1 from Seaman. Delayed call, but the right call. Strike 1 for the Muskies. Seaman pitch up and away. Ball 1. If you're looking at the Muskie defense in the infield, Avery Eagle playing first base, Becca Haig at second, Kylie Sawyers at shortstop, and Erica Ramser at third base, with Kylie Sawyers behind the plate. That foul ball is out of play. As Seaman works ahead, 1-2 with 2 outs. Bettendorf able to get an early run here. After the single from Bree Caffrey and was driven in by Emily Rigdon. Pitch outside, ball 2. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. We'll have both of them here on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. Outside pitch, fouled away. Two count still for Bree Seaman and the Muskies. Both teams donning black tonight. Up the middle. Unable to get the pick is Eagle, and that's going to be, we'll see how that's scored. Now Sarah Rigdon, the third baseman, will take the right-handed batter's box for the Bulldogs. I believe that's going to be scored an error. Seaman inside, or called strike. I'm still getting used to the delay on the strike call here from the umpire. Strike 2. As Seaman battles back to an 0-2 count here. Again, 2 outs. And they're able to get the force out at third. That'll be 3 as Kylie Sawyers goes with the 6-5 put out. We're going to take a quick break. We'll keep it right here, as it is the Muskies trailing 1-0 after the top of the first inning here at Muscatine High School softball diamond here at Kentstein Park in Muscatine, Iowa. And welcome back to Kent Stein Ballpark in Muscatine, Iowa, as it is Muskie's high school softball tonight as the Bettendorf Bulldogs lead Muscatine 1-0 after the top of the first inning. The home team, Muskies, led off by senior, all-state, all-everything, Riley Moss. Moss heading to the University of Iowa next year to play softball for the Hawkeyes. Number 7 in the state in Class 5A in batting average, batting .566 on the season. But interesting statistic, she's been on base 51 times this year in 79 at-bats, and she's scored 33 of those times. 57% of the time she gets on base, she scores. Such an important piece of this Muskie offense is Riley Moss, the center fielder, as she takes called strike for the first strike of the at-bat. Ground ball to Rigdon, who is able to get the put out on the 1-3 ground ball. Be 1 out now for the Muskies. That'll bring up Olivia Harmon for the Muskies, the left fielder. Another lefty. Strike 1 off the outside corner. Emily Rigdon high and outside with that pitch. 1-1. Hartman digs in from the left side. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Rigdon ahead 1-2. Tries to get Harmon to chase up high. No joy. Counts 2-2 here. Fastball low and outside. Full count now to Harmon. And she'll take ball 4 as Harmon will move to first base. Becca Haig now come in for the Muskies, a sophomore second baseman. Umpires tending to some business down the first base line. Rigdon pitch high, ball 1. Haig digs in. Rigdon high and outside again as Haig works 2-0 here in the bottom of 1. Haig batting .456 on the season. That pitch is in for a strike. Haig fourth on the team in RBIs with 20. And that is ripped to left field, off the wall. I think on a normal day, Haig is trotting around the bases on that, but the wind knocked that thing down as she gets the single off the wall. as Avery Eagle, the first baseman, steps in. Avery, the senior, 40 RBIs on the season. She'll be heading to Northern State University in South Dakota to play softball next year. She drives it to the gap in left center. Off the wall. That's going to bring in Harmon with the double. We're all tied. Two big, big drives for the Muskies. And again, on normal evenings, those are both probably trots around the bases with home runs. But that win knocking it down. And the Muskies finally get their extra base hit to drive the run in. Now Kylie Sawyers will step in. The senior. And she takes ball one. That pitch is low for a strike. Counts 1-1. Sawyers takes, looks like a changeup for strike two. Pitch outside for ball two. Not a bad spot for it for Rigdon, trying to get the hitter to chase. One out for the Muskies, runners at second and third. As Avery Eagle drove in the tying run just a second ago with a big double. That ball is high. It is caught by the center fielder, Brooke, but that will drive in the run. Sacrifice fly for Sawyers, for Kylie Sawyers, as now Briley Seaman, the DH, comes into the batter's box with two outs. Eagle on second base. First pitch strike for Rigdon. Ball's fouled out of play by Seaman. Muskies are led by Steve Hopkins, their head coach, Bob Gant, an assistant, and Jennifer Haig, along with Carrie Seaman and Nicole Calvert, the athletic trainer. Fantastic softball staff here at Muscatine. Rigdon, pitch outside for ball one. Counts 1-2 with two outs. Rigdon inside and low for ball two. Ellie Erpelding behind the dish for the Bulldogs, doing a nice job of kind of moving her spots in and out, and setting up nicely. That ball runs inside and fouled off by Seaman. Counts 2-2 with two outs. Fouled off, out of play. 12 pitching to 21, 2-2-2. There's palindromes all over the scoreboard right now. Rigdon. Low, full count now. Eagle again on second base. Seaman fouls yet another pitch off. Great at bat here for the young Seaman. Just a sophomore. This Muscatine roster has an excellent balance of veteran leadership along with youngsters in the starting lineup. Rigdon with the pitch. That one's going to be up and in play. Sophia Del Vecchio with the catch. So the Muskie's able to take the lead 2-1 here, and the 2 runs in the bottom of the first as they're able to get ahead here. We're going to take another quick break and be back with the second inning here on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. And we are back as Ellie Erpelding will lead it off for the Bulldogs. Bettendorf led by head coach Bob Mathis, assisted by Haley Dua and Maddie Mathis. As Erpelding takes the first pitch ball as Bree Seaman looks to try to keep the leadoff batter from getting on base unlike the first inning. Ball 2. Beautiful night for softball here at Kentstein Park in Muscatine. Ball is hit up. It is spinning in that wind. And Kylie Sawyers is able to get under it. That thing moved probably 30 feet from where it started and finished up just in fair territory on the third base line. But Sawyers making a fantastic play. Seaman, pitch, grounded to Haig, flips it over to Eagle for a 5-3 put out for the Muskies. That's 2 quick outs for Seaman. Brooke Magistrelli into the batter's box for the Bulldogs. Driven to left field. Olivia Harmon there for the catch. 3 up, 3 down for the Muskies. Fast work from Bree Seaman as the Muskies offense will now look to add more to their lead. We'll take another quick break. Again, Bear, proud sponsors of Muskie Athletics. I'm Joel Krausar on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network, and we'll be back shortly.
Chair and I can get up over the fence. Yeah. I've got my chair.
So are you filming with Channel 8, I see?
Yeah, Channel 8.
Okay.
Welcome back to Kentstein Park. Joel Krausar and the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. Muskies lead 2-1 in this Mississippi Athletic Conference battle. Erica Ramser, the third baseman, enters the batter's box for the Muskies. Pitch from Rigdon is in for a strike. Ramser batting .373 on the season. Muscatine 19-2 coming into this game. The Bulldogs 13-7. Rigdon, pitch, hit, fly ball. It's going to stay in the infield. And Katie Scholl able to secure the catch. And that'll be one out. Now Bree Seaman, the pitcher for the Muskies, gets into the batter's box to try to help herself out here. Batting .344 on the season. Three home runs on the season for Seaman. Again, just a junior. This Muskie team, their number 1 and 2 pitchers, just a junior and sophomore respectfully. Quick work to get to 2 strikes from Rigdon. There's the pitch. Strike 3. Strikeout for Rigdon. It's now Kylie Sawyers, the catcher. The number 9 hitter. Younger Sawyers, just a sophomore. She hits a rocket back to Rigdon, who's able to defend her position and get the third out. So 3 up, 3 down for the Muskies in the bottom of the second as they still lead 2-1. We'll take another quick break. You're watching Muskie softball. We'll have Muskie baseball later on this week. Muskie softball right now, as they lead the Bulldogs 2-1 here in the after 2. And we are back at the top of the third inning as the Muscatine Muskies lead Bettendorf 2-1 in this Mississippi Athletic Conference battle. 2 runs for the Muskies came in the bottom of the first off 2 rocket shots to the outfield from Becca Haig and Avery Eagle, both driving in runs. Eagles drove in the run. While Kylie Sawyers was able to have a sacrifice fly. Bree Seaman with a ball on her first pitch here in the top of the third inning. There's a strike for the junior in the circle for the Muskies. Bree Caffrey, the leadoff hitter for the Bulldogs. She got it started. She scored the lone run for Bettendorf this game after a single. Shows bunt, pulls back. Ball 2. Count moves to 2-1. Tries to slap it down the third base line, just out of reach of Erica Ramser for strike 2. The Muskie outfield reads left to right. Olivia Harmon in left field, Riley Moss in center, and Carly Ricketts in right field. Caffrey reaches out and touches it barely to foul it off as Seaman continues to battle. Bree Seaman against Bree Caffrey. Ball 3. Full count now. Ball's driven to center field. Moss under it, secures the catch. 1 out as the Muskies Bree Seaman with a good at-bat there from a pitching standpoint, battling back. Utilizing her defense. Tierlink now steps into the batter's box for the Bulldogs. Seaman is low and outside for ball one. That ball is hit to the outfield. Harmon tracks it, and she's able to bring it in. 2 outs now for the Muskies. Del Vecchio, again, we mentioned it in the first inning. She is the leading hitter for this Bulldog team. The Muskies were able to retire her on 1 pitch. And she is aggressive. Swing and a miss on first pitch. 0-1 goes the count. Pitching is so much easier when you're working ahead, and Seaman doing a nice job. That ball is up as Ramser camps under it. 3 fly balls, 3 outs for the Muskies. Take a quick break. I'm Joel Krausar on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. And welcome back to Kentstein Park. Joel Krausar and the Discover Muscatine Sports Network as the Muskies lead Bettendorf 2-1 here in Game 1 of this Mississippi Athletic Conference doubleheader. Riley Moss, the leadoff hitter for the Muskies, will lead off here in the bottom of the 3 as Emily Rigdon. Just 35 pitches so far for the Bulldog senior. That is a ball. As Riley Moss looks to start this inning off. Chops it down, the speedster. Able to beat it out. Riley Moss, infield single. Great stretch there from Tierlink at first, just not quite enough. And that's what makes Moss so dangerous. Not only can she hit and drive it to all aspects of the field, she's so fast. Bunt attempt here for the Muskies. Trying to move the ball station to station, Olivia Harmon.
What happened? Why is she out?
Okay, so Olivia Harmon did try to bunt it, but it hit her, and so the umpire did rule that interference, and Harmon is out. So now Becca Haig will step into the box. It was a little ambiguous as to what the call was. We were able to process. Thank you, Roger Bates, up here in the press box for ironing it out for us. As Moss looks to steal second, and she was beat by the ball, but shortstop unable to secure it as Moss slides around the tag and is safe on the stolen base. Good throw from Repelding. And now Becca Haig, who had a long single off the left field wall, which causes Bree Caffrey to play in the shadow of the scoreboard in left field. As Rigdon evens up the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Moss on second base for the Muskies. ball 2. Becca Haig, the second baseman. Ball is fly ball to second base as Katie Scholl able to secure it. So now with 2 outs, Avery Eagle with 41 RBI on the season. Avery Eagle steps in with another runner in scoring position. Ball is outside for ball 1. First base open. I'm not as well versed in what softball strategy is as far as intentional walks and opening the base. I know in a baseball scenario, you don't challenge the number 4 hitter here with first base open with 2 outs for an opportunity to have a force. So I'm guessing that's what Coach Mathis is discussing right now on the pitcher's mound is, you don't need to give her something sweet, knowing you've got that first base open. But again, if you're listening, I'm new to softball. 25 years of coaching baseball. New to softball. So feel free to let us know in the chat on Facebook or on YouTube wherever you're watching this game. Let me know if I'm crazy about that strategic thing. I'm clearly crazy in other aspects. Avery Eagle going to get the intentional walk. So I was spot on. Heck yeah. I'm not an idiot. Don't listen to my wife. I'm not an idiot. Avery Eagle takes first base. And that will bring up Kylie Sawyers, the shortstop. Ball 1 outside. Again, 2 outs. That intentional walk does create a force at any base here. That pitch is inside for a strike. Count moves to 1-1. High for ball 2. Sawyer's looking to do some damage here. Batting .340 on the season, fouls that one back. .25 RBI for Sawyers here on the season. Trying to add to that number. As Rigdon works the 2-2 count. That is unable to get over the shortstop head as Sophia Del Vecchio able to make the catch. And the Muskies leave 2 on, but still lead 2-1 at the end of 3. We'll be back with some 4th inning action here at Kentstein Park. I'm Joel Krausar in the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. And welcome back to Kentstein Ballpark. Joel Krausar and the Discover Muscatine Sports Network as the Muskies lead Bettendorf 2-1. It's game 1 of a MAC conference doubleheader as Emily Rigdon steps into the batter's box to try to help herself out. The pitcher for Bettendorf takes a strike from Bree Seaman. It's the top of 4. Again, we play 7 innings in Iowa high school softball. That ball is driven hard to the gap. Communication from Riley Mosh calls off Olivia Harmon. And the senior all-world center fielder able to reel it in, the future Hawkeye. There's athletic center fielders who can cover a lot of ground, and then there's Riley Moss. Catches that ball pretty much in left field. First pitch strike for Bree Seaman, swing and a miss from Olivia Anderson. Strike two on the outside corner. Off the end of the bat. And put out as Kylie Sawyers fires it across the diamond to Avery Eagle for out number 2 for the Muskies. Sarah Rigdon now batting for the Bulldogs. Seaman really has settled down after giving up 2 early hits in the first inning, surrendering a run. It started with her being able to work ahead. Another first pitch strike for the junior for the Muskies. Changes speeds. Gets Rigdon out on her front foot. And that's strike 2. A rise ball fouled off. That's out of play. You got to think that she's tempted to come back with that changeup or something off speed as far out in front of it as Rigdon was. Goes low. Good block. That's Kylie Sawyers. It's not a bad pitch. It's a pretty good spot for that. Sometimes that's hard to lay off for a batter. Harden outside. That's ball 2. 2-2 count with 2 outs here at the top of the 4th. Bree Seaman stepping into the circle. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 looking. Seaman gets the strikeout to end the inning. Muskies lead 2-1 entering the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be right back. I'm Joel Krausar on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. Welcome back to Kent-Side Ballpark. We're doing the chicken dance as the Muskies lead 2-1 here in the bottom of 4. Bradley Seaman will lead it off here for the Muskies in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bradley Seaman, the designated hitter, batting in the number 6 spot. It'll be Seaman, Ramser, and Seaman. Almost sounds like a law firm. Line drive to left field. Bree Caffrey able to wrangle it in. Hard hit ball there from Briley Seaman. As Erica Ramser, the third baseman, steps into the batter's box. Ramser 0 for 1 today. Swinging foul ball off the first pitch, strike 1. Rams are batting .358 on the season. Pitch is low for ball one. Rigdon with the pitch inside for ball two. Again, if you're just joining us, Muscatine 19-2 on the season. Bettendorf 13-7. Muscatine currently ranked number 2 in Iowa Class 5A, which is the largest class in the state of Iowa for softball. But it is anticipated they will move up to the number 1 ranking after they defeated number 1 ranked Fort Dodge on Saturday. Rigdon with the pitch walks Ramser, and that'll bring up pitcher for the Muskies, Bree Seaman, for a chance to help herself out. Bree Seaman, a junior, batting .344 on the season. She's 0 for 1 today. And she squares around to bunt. Is unable to get it down, so that'll be a foul ball for strike one. Got a timeout here as Coach Steve Hopkins wants to talk over some strategy with his junior pitcher. So on first base is Erica Ramser. The way the Bulldog defense sets up, Sarah Rigdon playing third base, Sophia Del Vecchio playing shortstop, Katie Scholl at second, and Brooklyn Tierlink at first base. And now Seaman able to get the bunt down. Almost an errant throw. Fantastic play by Katie Scholl to get the out, as Seaman with the successful sacrifice bunt moves the runner over. Now with 2 outs. And Kylie Sawyers now catching and batting for the Muskies. She shows a bunt early. She fly ball to right field, and that is able to be secured. And that'll be out number 3 for the Muskies. So no runs in the 4th inning as the Muskies lead 2-1. We'll be back with more Muskie softball on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. And welcome back to Kent Stein Ballpark here in Muscatine, Iowa, as the Muscatine Muskies lead 2-1 here at the top of the 5th inning over MAC conference rival Bettendorf. Bree Seaman with the pitch. That's ball 1. Ellie Erpelding, the catcher, in the batter's box for the Bulldogs. And that pitch is high for ball 2. Foul ball, strike 1 for Erpelding. Seaman, in my observation, has been doing more changing speeds really working her spots here in the later innings. Kind of changing it up on these pitchers as she's in the second time around. That ball's high and outside, ball 3. I think in all diamond sports, one of the most feared things is walking the leadoff batter of an inning. Something Siemens trying to avoid here as Repelding works the count 3-1. Good pitch from Seaman, fouled out of play. And the count goes to full. Seaman with the pitch. And Repelding drives it to right field. Carly Ricketts heads up trying to get the play at first base, but Repelding quickly gets down the baseline. Wind continues to blow in from the slough here in Muscatine. Kind of swirling a little bit from right to left as Bree Seaman takes the circle. Here's the pitch. And that ball is hit to right field. Ricketts able to secure out number 1 for the Muskies as Repelding, the catcher, still at first base. Brooke Magistrelli, the number 9 hitter, into the batter's box. Gets to second base and unable to secure the catch is Becca Haig. And a big opportunity now for the Bulldogs. As Bree Caffrey, the leadoff hitter for the Bulldogs. A slight delay here now as Coach Hopkins he's appealing that the drop of the ball actually happened on the transfer. So now the umpires will confer to discuss whether or not they felt a catch was secured and the rapid transfer to the right hand for the attempt to turn the double play is what caused the bobble. So the fact that they're willing to discuss it means there's an opportunity here for the Muskies, which would be a significant out. And they are going to uphold the call as made on the field. And I'll be honest, from my point of view, I thought that was the right call. Unfortunate for the Muskies, and I totally would do the same thing if I was Coach Hopkins. But I believe the umpires got that right, and if you have a history of listening to us, that's not a common thing for me to admit. So now Bree Caffrey will enter the batter's box. And that ball is in for a strike. Strike 1. 1 out. Runners at first and second for the Muskies. For the Bulldogs. Caffrey gets the bunt down. And a errant throw. Fortunate there for the Muskies, as the Bulldogs will now sit with the bases loaded with number 2 hitter. And a little defensive meeting now here for Coach Hopkins. This broadcast brought to you by Bear of Muscatine, longtime sponsor and supporter of Muscatine Muskie Athletics on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. Make sure you like Discover Muscatine on Facebook and YouTube. And make sure you not only like, but you subscribe. Hit the alert button, and you'll be notified of all live events that Discover Muscatine is bringing to you, which includes Muskie softball and baseball through the rest of the summer. And we're excited to bring you again a full catalog of fall sports activities. And as we get closer to those, you can see a printed schedule of those in the Discover Muscatine newspaper every week that you find in your mailbox. At bat now for the Bulldogs This is the first baseman, Brooklyn Tierlink. She fouls that one out of play. Makes the count 1-1. That one is going to affect someone's insurance deductible. Seaman toes the circle. Pitch is fouled off for strike 2. Bree Seaman able to work ahead. 0-2 here now. Just one out. Tierlink fouls that one out of play. Outside. Good spot for it, though, for Seaman. You're ahead in the count. Count is 2-2. That ball is hit to center field. It's carrying nicely as Moss was able to get out on the catch. Throw was a little up the first baseline, and the sac fly successful for Brooklyn Tierlink, and that ties the game up at 2. 2 outs now for the Bulldogs as this Muskie defense looking to get out of a bases loaded jam by only giving up the 1 run. Del Vecchio now, the number 3 hitter for the Bulldogs and their leading hitter, steps into the batter's box with 2 runners in scoring position. And she drives one over the second base head. And that's going to score both. And the Bulldogs take the lead here in the top of 5. Some good hitting as Del Vecchio able to go the other way and drive in 2 runs. Emily Rigdon, the pitcher, will now take into the batter's box, trying to help herself out with Del Vecchio on first base. And she drives one to left field. And Harmon able to secure the catch. So the Muskies give up 3 in the top of 5. And now they trail 4-2 here after 5. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be back with Discover Muscatine and the Discover Muscatine Sports Network, presented by Pearl City Media. Welcome back to Kent Stein Park here in beautiful Muscatine, Iowa. As it's 70 degrees, it's June 21st, and it's Mississippi Athletic Conference softball action. I'm Joel Krausar. As Riley Moss will lead off the 5th inning here for the Muskies, after the Muskies surrendered 3 runs in the top of the 5th. As Riley Moss tries to start it off for Muscatine, she takes strike 1 on the first pitch from Rigdon. Now they're going to check it. They're going to say she was still in the box when it hit her. So Moss, with the foul ball, goes down 0-2. She slaps one, unable to catch the ball, is left fielder Bree Caffrey, as that thing was spinning and diving hard towards the third base line. And Moss will reach on the error, as Olivia Harmon will now bat for the Muskies. Harmon takes a first pitch strike. Harmon was called out on a sacrifice bunt attempt her last at bat. She walked in the first inning. Harmon slaps one down to left field. It goes foul. So Harmon now 0-2 is the count. Rigdon's ahead. Of the 62 pitches that Rigdon's thrown tonight, 40 have been strikes, 23 of them balls, as the count moves to 1-2. Harmon puts it in play on the hit and run and moves the runner over. So with one out, Riley Moss moves to second base. Olivia Harmon gets the job done. That's Becca Haig. Enters the batter's box. Pitch here from Rigdon. Chopped over the third baseman's head, but trickles foul. Strike one for Haig, and Moss will return to second base. Haig 1 for 2 today, a single in the first inning, and she flew out in the third. Batting .425 on the season. She's got 20 RBIs. She squares around a bunt, and a wild pitch. Thought that almost got Haig, but she's able to turn out of the way. So now she was able to still get the runner to move over on the wild pitch. And I might score that as a pass ball, actually. Strike inside. Good pitch from Rigdon there. Pitch is high for ball two. Bettendorf fans not a fan of the call. And the Muskies in the black with purple numbers, Bettendorf in the black with yellow numbers. Becca Haig. That's a rip down the third baseline. Fair will drive in Moss. And Haig with the RBI single cuts the lead to 1. And now Avery Eagle, the cleanup hitter, first baseman, comes into the batter's box. And Coach Hopkins making a base running substitution as number 20 Avery Schroeder checks into the ball game as a pinch runner. As Avery Eagle will look to tie this game up with an RBI situation. Ball low. Count goes 1-0. pitch is in for a strike. And now the Muskie faithful make their dissent known. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to Eagle. She calls timeout. Foul ball, that's fouled off of Eagle's foot. 2 strikes. Eagle, as I mentioned in the first inning, heading to Northern State to play softball. Great to see her back in the purple and gold. A highly experienced travel softball player. Finally making some appearances here for her local high school team. Her senior season runner is safe. Schroeder is safe at second base. I had the opportunity to talk to assistant coach Bob Gant, who's also Avery's uncle, saying how excited they were that she was able to make it work schedule-wise to play this her senior season with her senior class and her teammates with the Muskies. She's been a huge addition to this program that was already humming as they went to the state tournament last year. Avery Schroeder at second base. The ball is hit up and secured by Tierlink. Now Kylie Sawyers comes to the plate with a runner in scoring position. First pitch high for a ball. Count moves to 1-0. Inside. Ball 2. Sawyers is 0 for 2 tonight with 2 flyouts, batting .333 on the season. Hammers that one to third base. And Tierlink able to secure the catch and the tag as the throw pulled her off the base. So the Muskies get 1 back. They still trail 4-3. They leave 1 on after 5. It's Muskie softball here on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network. And welcome back. It's Muskie softball on the Discover Muscatine Sports Network, presented by Pearl City Media. We have a pitching change in the works here for the Muskies, as Bree Seaman will give the ball in the circle over to her teammate Mara Kalupa. As Kalupa comes in, just a sophomore, but with fantastic numbers on the year. Both of these pitchers with fantastic numbers on the year. Kalupa, no losses. A sub-1 walks and hits per innings pitched. She's 9-0 on the season in 57 innings. Her opponent's batting average is 166, and she's given up just 9 earned runs on the season with an ERA of 1.11. So both pitchers, when you look at their stat line, very similar. Seaman just with the 2 losses on the season. But again, only 2 losses all year for the Muskies as they look to try and reclaim that #1 ranking in the state, which of course means very little. The only ranking anyone really worries about is that one at the end of the tournament in Fort Dodge here in a few weeks. So Mara Kalupa will come into the game, and she'll face off against Olivia Anderson, who leads off the top of the 6th inning here. Kalupa with a ball on her first pitch. That ball is outside for ball 2. This is Olivia Anderson 0 for 2 today. Strike for Kalupa. Olivia Anderson batting .444 on the season. Strike 2. Kalupa battles back to even 2-2 here to lead off the top of 6. And that pitch close, just misses. Full count. That ball is fouled and out of play. Anderson now with a full count. Kalupa gets the strikeout and the fist pump to go along with it. Big pitch for the sophomore there as Olivia Anderson goes out swinging. 1 out now for the Muskies here in the top of 6. Sarah Rigdon into the batter's box for the Bulldogs. Kalupa inside for strike 1. Nice pitch. First pitch, strike. Strike 2 for Kalupa. As Sarah Rigdon is 0 for 2. She's a fielder's choice and a strikeout today. Strike 3 looking as Kalupa battles back after getting into a 3-0 hole. Now 2 strikeouts to start off this inning. Ellie Erpelding now, the catcher for the Bulldogs. She kind of got the last inning offensively started when they had their runs. She's 1 for 2. Outside for ball 1. Check swing by Erpelding, ball 2, 2-0 with 2 outs here. And you can hear the wind in my microphone blowing straight in from center field here at Kent Stein Ballpark in Muscatine. It's game 1 of this doubleheader. Ball 3. Mara Kalupa, the sophomore, just coming into the ball game. She relieved Bree Seaman, who threw 5 innings. That's going to be ball 4. So Repelding works the walk. And now Harrison, the DH, comes into the batter's box. 2 outs for the Muskies on defense. Becca Haig, who did get the pinch runner last inning, has re-entered as the second baseman for Muscatine. One of the differences in high school diamond sports, if you are a starter, you can re-enter after being substituted for. That ball is fouled off, strike 2. Mara Kalupa, the sophomore, in the circle. 2 strikeouts this inning, and she's up 0-2 on Harrison, the DH, for the Bulldogs. Gets the strikeout, strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Kalupa here in the top of 6 as the Muskies try to battle back and tie this thing up. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Discover Muscatine Sports Network. I'm Joel Krausar. As the Muskies trail 4-3 here in the bottom of 6. As Briley Seaman, the designated hitter, steps into the batter's box for the Muskies against Emily Rigdon. Pitch. Outside corner, strike 1 for Rigdon. Seaman has flown out twice in her first 2 at-bats. She drives one foul just in front of it. A little off-speed pitch from Rigdon. And Seaman pulls it foul. Pitch is outside and high for ball 1. Fouled again, out of play. Bradley Seaman, 362 on the season. And 58 at-bats. Getting out in front of it. Just driving him foul. Keeping Bob Long on his toes over there down the left field line. As Emily Rigdon fires high and outside, not a bad spot for it. That's a hard pitch to lay off after you've been seeing the inside corner hammered. Seaman, nice discipline there at the plate. 2-2, no outs. Seaman fouls it up. Does it get out of play? It does. Off the Muskie dugout. Seaman battling. That's her 5th foul ball of this at-bat. as Rigdon and Seaman are in a battle here in the bottom of the 6th. No outs, leadoff hitter here in this inning. Again, fouled off. Trying to coordinate the re-entrance of all these foul balls. Seaman digs in. And Seaman takes it. And she'll earn first base after a fantastic at bat. Erica Ramser, the third baseman, now batting for the Muskies. Bunt by Ramser. Bobbled by the third baseman, Rigdon. And what was an attempted sacrifice turns into 2 runners on here for the Muskies. And now Kalupa, who just came in this past inning, she'll try to do some work at the plate to help herself out. We're going to have a quick meeting here at the mound. Or circle, excuse me. As Coach Mathis and Bettendorf negotiate some strategy. Probably talking some bunt defense potentially here with no outs. On base for the Muskies, Briley Seaman and Erica Ramser. Seaman at second, Ramser at first. And now Mara Kalupa steps into the batter's box. Kalupa squares to bunt. She gets a beautiful sacrifice down, and she'll be safe at first. Fantastic bunt from the pitcher. Coach Mathis questioning whether it hit her or not. At several times he's asked the question, and I think the umpire is explaining that he's already called one person out for it, and now the appeal is going to be discussed. I did not see it hit. I thought it was just a fantastic bunt. Great backspin. She deadened it perfectly, and I would be shocked. And they call her safe, which I believe is the right call. And now we're going to have a courtesy runner as Kalupa, the pitcher, now Ashley Ramser, a freshman, will check in to run for Kalupa. And Bree Seaman, Kylie Sawyers, the catcher now, comes to the plate with the bases loaded, no outs. Kylie batting .344 on the season. 269 on the season. Shows a little bunt, pulls it back. Seven RBI on the year for Kylie Sawyers. Trying to add to that number. Ball. 2-0 count. As your top-ranked Muskies ratcheting up the pressure here in the bottom of 6. Inside, ball 3. This calls for plate discipline here from your catcher. when you're this far ahead in the count in this situation. She takes a strike. Now Sawyers still ahead here. She grounded out and flew out her first 2 at-bats. And she puts it into play. And she's out at home with a force out. Great scoop there from Erpelding off the short hop from Del Vecchio. And now another courtesy runner for the catcher. As Isabel Lerma, the freshman, checks in to run. Senior Riley Moss now comes to the plate with 1 out. And Moss, one of the top hitters in the state of Iowa. 17 RBI on the year for her. It's a nice play by Del Vecchio to cut the runner off on the force at home. It was bang, bang. First pitch is high for ball 1.